Good morning. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to go through live order flow and understand what's going on in the market, understand the participants, the more and understand what's going on. The more objective that we can be about this process, the more likely we can also understand where the participants are going to move the market. And that's what the order flow is all about. In fact, I personally believe that order flow is the same. It's the same elements on all time frames. If we look at a monthly chart, a daily chart, a second chart, a 15-minute chart, it is these participants and orders that are moving the market, no matter what. That's just how it is, right? So to understand the order flow is to understand what moves the market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in and see what's going on. We usually start here with the S&P E-mini. We can look at any market, though. This is the all markets webinar, so just let me know. I've got a bunch of markets open and would like to actually demo some of the tools for a lot of these markets. So anyway, let's just take a look. We always just jump right in and go through what's happening at the here and the now, and we can see that price was consolidating here. It kind of broke down. It hit high liquidity here at this kind of 39, or 53.29, and then a bunch of liquidity here, string of liquidity at 9 o'clock, as you can see, and then 9:30 cash open. One more kind of hit to the downside here, and now we're going up. Okay, this is very, very typical, and you usually see maybe a little bit more of a move in the and then a counter rotation and the opening drive continues after that. Or after this move to the downside. So what do we do? Well, we see sellers and a little bit of buyers in here, but buyers just took on this huge wall of liquidity here at 29 and 30. Okay, and the transactions took place. Okay, this is what we want to understand and know. Okay, this is where we start to understand the participants and their behavior. This is high liquidity on the offer. We traded into it, and buyers took them on. Do they still have buying pressure? That is the question to answer. And you can see how it's kind of fizzling out now. So watch. Sellers will come in here and likely take it down to 27 or 28. 27.5, 27, maybe further. Okay, but we're just looking for a pullback right now, and just take a break here because these participants traded hard, and they traded directly into this high liquidity, and then we see a little bit of buying back up above it, but just not enough. So we would look for a pullback, and then we'll see if after that rest can we get more buyers to come back in and lift the offer and trade up to 31, 32, 33 liquidity up here. It is this constant back and forth and context between high liquidity, this price structure, which is a breakout into high liquidity here on the offer, so price structure, transactions, and liquidity. Okay, so we got our pullback here. Now we were looking for a little bit more, right? Maybe down to this liquidity here. Well, we didn't get it. Okay, this is as far as it went, was this 28.5 here. We were looking for like maybe 27.5, 27, and they're still down here though. Okay, so we'll see if we get down there, but we're taking a bit of a pause and we'll see if we get a continuation pattern here now. Okay, so what's happening up at this top end here, top of the range? Do we see a lot of buyers? Okay, do we see an order book skew in here? Not really. So I'm not really looking for much right now. Now, they did pull some liquidity in here at 31. It's starting to add a little bit here on the bid, but we're not getting our aggressive buyers in here, right? So we don't have all the pieces in here. So what do? What's our reading? What's our assessment? Not much. We're just going to sit back and let the participants tell us. So right now, that's what we see. Okay, after this huge liquidity tackled or transacted up in here between 29 and 30. Okay, so let's see if we get a bit more buying up here, and maybe we'll see though. Like that's what we're trying to read here. Right now, there's not a whole lot of buying interest up here. All right, anyway, there we go. Okay, so there's a little bit of a push through on the buy side. Okay, so still a little bit more buying. Okay, able to attack some of this liquidity here and transact with it. Have not gotten to the high liquidity here at 32. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. Now this is an opening drive, so it's a little different, and it's high volume period in the market. So it's just after 10 o'clock. We're getting a kind of a continuation move here. But this is what we talked about yesterday, or we talk about all the time, is understanding this relationship of the sellers and buyers within this structure. So first off, is this structure strong? Do we see a strong momentum move? No, we don't. It's just a few points. Do we see a lot of volume in this trend to the upside? Yeah, pretty good. Not bad on the buy side. But how much are they breaking out? And it's not by much. Okay? So we're not really looking for much here. We're actually let's just put a little more structure on here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look at diagonal lines in here, and we can look at some horizontal lines or your volume profiles in here as well. But right now, you can see we inch higher and trade up into some of these areas up here. Some liquidity filled up in here as well, maybe here and some here, and then no more buyers. Okay, so we get our rotation, our counter rotation here, and back down, and we're looking for some of the swings and liquidity. Okay, so in the bigger picture, on this time frame, this is what we're showing liquidity again down here around 27.5, maybe 28 to 28.5 now, starting to add into the book here, as you can see. Okay, so that's where we're looking for these sellers now to come back. Okay, because this is a bit too high in the auction process. Okay, we're still buy side, but we're looking for these pullbacks here. Okay, there's still more buyers in this move than there are sellers, and that's what we're assessing. Let me get to some questions, and then we can continue on this theme. But it's really again context here. Buyers are here. Okay, sellers are in some of these pockets in here. Right, so and we can look at the buyers are still the dominating force, but we're not really breaking out by much, so we're not really expecting much. Okay, so now here come the sellers back down to this swing here, and that's where we're looking for this liquidity here to be tested. So we're getting our test now. All right, so now is that low enough? We look for now potentially our responsive buyers, okay, to trade back up into this value area, this range. Okay, look at our chart range volume profile here. We've got double distribution, so we're testing the top or the low volume node in this area here, and let's see if we find buyers interested now in taking it back up to maybe here, okay, around 30. Right, and it also fits within this trending environment here. Okay, so again, by just understanding, now we can look at a trend in here. Let me take the volume dots off. And we can look at a trend in here, and we can take the heat map off too, and start to understand the price action in here. And that's good, but we want to understand the context of the volume within here. And that's where we're going to get a lot more insight. Okay, so we're still buy side until we see something different. Some selling starting to pick up. Some selling also broke the swing here, but it rejected and came back up into our 30 level. That's what we're looking for. Again, just understanding the behavior here of these traders in this structure. Now we get a lot of insight when we add the heat map on, okay, because we just traded into all that high liquidity, right? And we're still looking to see if we can get more buying pressure to trade back up to maybe this 32 area now, right? Now, how do we read that, and how do we look for an opportunity? Well, we look for the bid here to be stacked, to show buying interest at higher levels here, and the offer maybe to pull some of that liquidity, like they did here. Okay, see how it was yellow here, higher liquidity, and 242 was the number of contracts here at this 31 level. And then they actually added in last second here. If you zoom in here, and you can see that they added in right in here, right? So so it was 209 and then 220, 222, except 223, and looks like those transactions took place there. Okay, so understanding this context, right? So anyway, that's the process. Let me ask some questions here, and then we're going to take a step back and look at our bigger picture approach, okay, for the day. Okay, I just can't reiterate enough how important it is to understand these three elements. This is the basis of understanding the market, basically. These three elements: the price structure, which is created by the movement or the transactions in here, okay, by the aggressors here being able to move price to the next level, take all the liquidity at one level and move it one tick higher, take all the liquidity from that level and move it another tick higher. Okay, so this auction process between the limit or passive orders on the offer up here versus the bid down here, and the reaction by the aggressors. This is what creates the structure. This is what creates everything. Okay, all the indicators are based, many of the indicators are based off of these three elements. Okay, so Bookmap is very plainly showing you directly this data. Right. Let me get to a few questions, and if you guys want deeper insight to this, let me show you where to go. Right. So go to if you're new in here, I would really highly recommend it that you go to bookmap.com, click on education, and then go to the market mechanics course here. Okay, at least just watch part 1. We go through exactly what we're talking about here, and understanding in a diagram form here at a binary level what exactly moves price or affects price in context. And by understanding a one tick move in here, you can extrapolate that out to understand a range move, or understand a much bigger move, or to even understand a daily chart over here. It is all very much the same process. We just come up with lots of different ways to kind of understand or visualize volume, price action, and liquidity. Now, liquidity is the one that throws people the most. They just don't have access to these kinds of materials typically. When Bookmap came out, the only thing you had access to before was a dome. Okay, now we do have a dome, a very professional dome, a Dome Pro here. I can open that up and show it to you. And this was back in the 90s. that this level 2 came out, and now it's a totally different game though, because yeah, level 2 is great. It shows you that liquidity on the bid, on the offer, etc. But there's no historical reference. This is just the here and the now. And if you're scalping for a few ticks or whatever, or trying to understand deeper levels of liquidity down on the bid here or up on the offer up in here, yeah, you can get that insight. But what Bookmap is showing you is being able to see this and get that insight here for this, for example, this wall of liquidity. Okay? It really slowed down price. Okay? And how long were these guys in the order book? These players. When did they come in? Did they add as price was coming up toward them? Did they stay in the book? Did they transact? We can answer these questions by looking historically at this right on the chart. You cannot get that from the dome. Okay, and this context is golden, being able to understand that. All right, so anyway, that's what Bookmap is showing in general. Now we've opened it up. We have stops and icebergs down here. We can see that there's been a lot of iceberg buying in this move to the upside as well. And you can see a lot of stops were triggered here just at 9 o'clock to the downside. Pretty big stop run there. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Rob and Robbed and Alan. All right, so anyway, that's kind of an overview, and not so brief overview of Bookmap. Let's move into our process though, and look at the trading day ahead of us here. Hold on just a minute. I'll bring up the PDF. All right, this is the PDF we put together. And this top-down approach to approach every day is understand the fundamentals behind the market. Now, again, as we just covered everything in here, like the fundamentals are massively important. However, it is the behavior of the traders making decisions with their orders is what really moves the market. Okay, now a lot of large players and a lot of players altogether are making their decisions based off of fundamental data, okay, from the economic calendar or geopolitical events. So we want to understand what those behaviors are like, and that's when we see a lot of volatility is around these events. This is a big market driver, and we can see it in the order flow. And then we're going to look at the bigger picture in terms of technicals, because today, for example, is more of a technical day. We don't have a lot of data coming out. We do later tomorrow, and so we have the FOMC meeting minutes to review, and also I think it's NVIDIA tomorrow, right? Is earnings release. So these are going to be, some pretty volatile events that are going to shape the market. So want to be in tune to those things. Now, like I said, today we don't really have so much. So what is the market going to react to? It's going to be reacting to the orders of others. So we want to understand the technicals today in the bigger picture. Okay, or we can also look at the fundamentals in terms of speculators on what they think the data is going to be like. So we see those moves happen all the time. Okay, so it's more like trade the rumor or buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. Okay, so we see the market moves before an event, and then at the event nothing happens. Okay, so that's another likely scenario. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't seem like that today to me. not the action that I'm seeing in here. So let's look at our bigger picture daily chart here, candlesticks on the left. And you can see us breaking the swing high here that we did last week. Also yesterday, we were looking for that move up to test that 46, 47 and maybe break out from it and test above it. We didn't get it. It fell back in, or at least below that high, but it did trade and it we can see the price action here. It closed above Friday's action, so that's bullish. And then today again, like this is an inside day. We're inside all of the price action from yesterday. So yesterday was a move to the outside of this range, and then today is inside. Okay, so let's look at the hourly and try to get some more insight. Oh, we have a double top pattern in here from yesterday and then today. And we want to understand, this is going to be really kind of critical, is understand what the volume is like and the appetite up here at the swing. Okay? And we can see here in the sub chart on this hourly chart that there's not a whole lot of buyers up here, okay? Or a lot of trading, I should say, because we don't know what aggressor. We assume that it's sellers in here, but we don't know. We don't have that information. Then we can see that sellers did come in and move it back down, and then we have today's action here. So what has happened so far? Now this is regular trading hours, so it's 10:30 now, or almost 10:30 East Coast time. So we only have like a couple hours, or 1 hour here of data for today. Well, yesterday we came down and traded into this area here where we broke out from, right, to the upside. So here we always assume that there's going to be some support, some buyers, some profit taking from the sell side, and we assume that there is going to that is going to be the behavior. Therefore, we're looking for a bounce, a bit of a bounce here. Okay. And then we want to understand the power behind this bounce. Maybe it's not just a bounce. Maybe it's a momentum move back up to the top of the range here, right? And that's what we want to determine. So let's look at the 15-minute chart. All right, well, 15-minute chart, you can see we gap down here. We just filled that gap not too long ago, right here at this 30 level. And then we kind of went back and forth in here for a little bit. We're still finding some buyers up here. All right, so that's the condition of what's happening right now. Are there any questions about this? Okay, understanding this context in here is really no different than understanding some of the context we were just going over in here. And I know a lot of guys in here that this is kind of a yawn for you. Like you know that we've covered all of this. Yeah, everyone's waiting for NVIDIA. Alan, I agree. It's just going to be, it's a really big deal to understand like how they're doing. Anyway, that's probably the speculation we're seeing here on the buy side. Yeah, I would look for buyers to take it back up into 32 right now. Actually, now I would scalp that, but I'm not going to. It's just a small trade. We're going to look for something a little bit bigger and better, right? We'll see. We'll see more context when we come back, right? Anyway, we're trying to assess the buying pressure in here right now, and see if we can break maybe this little swing high at 31.5, 31.75, and then maybe come up into these wicks up in here. Okay, so far so good, right? I mean, we see some back and forth in here, but there's more buyers than sellers. Right, so now we've looked at our gaps, we've looked at our higher time frames, our technicals, we looked at inside day, and our expectations for today is chop, okay, based off of what we're covering here, right? So we're going to be looking at some technical levels, and we're going to be kind of careful in here. If we look at our day trading plan, we've gone through the fundamentals, the big picture technicals, outlook for the day, developing scenarios. Okay, we just developed some, what we're looking for. Continuation here, buy side, but not by much. Okay, deeper pullbacks. We'll see if we get maybe a potential reversal. And then these are the strategies that we want to, or consider some strategies and setups. Okay, so pullback trading, top of the range, take some off, maybe all in, all out, maybe take some off and then hold some and look for continuation. All right, a day like today is probably be safer, is all in, all out type of approach. Yeah, then the order flow here in Bookmap, criteria in our strategies from the Learning Center. If we go over to the Learning Center, I can show you that, and then we're going to go through our trade management as well, trading from the Bookmap chart. Okay, so now we've traded up into our 32. We're still finding buyers, yeah, let's see if the bid's still showing some interest here. See if we can get a little bit higher here. Okay, we still have some room to go in this diagonal trend here. Okay, back up to the top of the range here. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, we can kind of we can see that there's another smaller trend developing here as well. And again, we're just looking at swings in here, price action. NVIDIA, want to look at NVIDIA? Sure, we can do that. Okay, so here's our little breakout of that. So there's still buying pressure. Okay, let's see a little more on the bid here. We're still looking for maybe 33 to 34 here. So still kind of grinding higher, basically, is what we're looking for. Okay, NVIDIA, like, yeah, it's just looking for this to chase after this 43 liquidity here and 45. Now, this actually looks more kind of, I don't know, a bit more kind of bullish to me. So a quick scalp up into this this area here. So we can put on maybe 100 shares here, but now that would only be now this is again trading in sim. Look in the lower right hand corner here, and it's only half or maybe even a third position that I'm looking for, because we're buying up here at these highs, and we still could get a better nicer pullback here. But there we go into 43, and maybe we can get up into 45 here. Okay, so still looking for this move to continue here. Yeah, it's a bit more promising, Alan, but we want to see this reaction to this liquidity here. Okay, there we go. Okay, trading into it and through it, yeah, I'll take let's take maybe a partial profit up here, and we'll see if we can get a little more out of it, and I'll just bring it down to 50. Okay, so take half off up there. Okay, just front running it again, right in front of that high liquidity 40,000 shares up here. All right, now understand, is there any questions on this? Like why, like I kind of just jumped right in on this one. Now NASDAQ's probably doing the same thing, but now we're getting kind of deeper into understanding what's kind of going on in this market. We covered that. This is why we go through that top-down approach of the fundamentals, starting to understand here. I'm going to actually take my half off right there, and reduce some risk. Okay, let me bring up the break-even point here as well. I also want to show you guys, we're going to be releasing maybe later today, or later this week for sure, our trading journal. Trading statistics will be updated, and trading journal. Right now, let's see if it, no, I don't see how I don't have it for stocks at the moment. We will have it though very, very soon. All right, so keep your eyes open here. In fact, I might be getting pinged. No, okay. By the developer right now, right? No. So anyway, I know a lot of you guys like Caesar and Valet Fan and a bunch of you guys in here are stock traders, and we will have this for you really soon. All right. Anyway, let's what do I want to cover here? Okay, so we're kind of going to the bellwether stock that's moving price right now. So we have a little bit deeper insight here, reflection off of the fundamental data that we're kind of anticipating. You can see a lot of other traders anticipating good results. This is what's driving the stock higher, right? So there's also a lot of traders up here at 45 ready to sell it. No, I think we'll see the reaction up here, Alan. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of liquidity in here for almost $1,000 stock. There we go. Yeah, I mean, typically we see this. This is rather typical. Like now, I'd take my profit, right? After a move through it like that, and now I'm kind of looking for a bit of a pullback. And it just refuses to. Okay, yeah, this is such a strong stock, but we're understanding again, like going back to and shifting back to our expectations or understanding of the participants here in this auction. Right, they're driving it higher. They're anticipating good earnings. Right, so this is what we're playing here. Now, in this case here, we took a decision. Again, this is not a trade recommendation. It's not a trading room in here. This is it's about order flow and also management of our trade. Okay, so maybe the management in here is lacking. Not a good decision. I had my reasons for it, but after trading at this high liquidity in here, I usually see a bit of a spike more, and then it kind of falls back into retest where it broke out from, or maybe even a little bit lower here, because we know a lot of transactions just took place here, right? So very, very kind of typical move, but it's still driving higher right now. All right, now if we go back and we take a look at how is that affecting NASDAQ. NASDAQ probably went up. Okay, it did. Okay, the S&P, I'm sure, broke out as well. Okay, so anyway, that's the correlation we're looking at here right now. Okay, so yeah, nice move in the S&P, and high liquidity up here, 35 filled, and also just shy of 39 and 40 liquidity up here. See Alan sell it all. Don't see liquidity above. Yeah, I mean, also, we can get some insight in here too, like stop run here, and how about the NASDAQ? Should be a stop run as well. It is, and NVIDIA, we don't know where stops are, but this was after trading into all of this above the 45 important level here. is it going to accept or reject above 45? Right? So yeah, I mean, it depends on if you're still bullish on this. I'm going to wait for a little bit more here, but it pulled back to where it broke out from. Question is this now what was resistance? Is this support? Okay, well, it's being tested right now. Okay, so yeah, I don't see an opportunity at the moment, but maybe down here at the swing, or maybe this liquidity level here at 43 is where we need to go. Okay, and we'll look where these buyers might be, and we can add back in. Anyway. All right, good stuff. So yeah, just I know that's a review for a lot of you guys, especially over here in the Bookmap Academy. So let's dive in a little bit deeper now and get into it. See, there's some other things I wanted to show you too. I mean, the trading journal product here will be, you should all have access to it soon. You can add journals up here, all journals, main journal, and then I made the small one, trading range. That was, you know, to check something out in here and test it out. Anyway, you can see all the trades from just from that on NASDAQ. Okay, and this was back on what day? 13th. Okay, and the 10th and the 13th. Okay, so you can add these into the all journals here, and you can filter for your dates. You can filter also for the different instruments in here. Note here that this is the Trader Map Pro version that we're able to also show in here. Trader Map Pro filter, which we can trade from, but it will not work for the live market. Okay, we're hoping to offer that though soon. Okay, so and yeah, you can see also the I have a crude oil trade in here as well. Okay, or we can look at all instruments here, NASDAQ and NQ, or I'm sorry, ES here as well. All right. Questions over in YouTube. Is production compared to Bookmap chart candlesticks to see the correlation? Okay. Edmund, so you want to look at candlesticks? Yeah. I mean, we can. I think it just kind of gets in the way in Bookmap, but it also can really help confirm what you're looking at in Bookmap. And this is something I really like. So yeah, let's add the candlesticks on and answer this question. You'll find it under here, studies configuration. And then you may see that this box is checked here. This is an aggregation feature. I would recommend that you deselect it so that when you're looking at a specific interval in here, which will be time, then you can you'll be looking directly at that interval only. All right, so I have 2 minutes right now. We can look at 5 minutes, for example, and you can look at the VWAPs on the bid and the ask or total on the candle as well. All right, if you like that feature. All right, anyway. So here's our 5-minute candlestick chart. All right, well, here you have a really big wick. All right, now, Edmund, what does this mean in here? Well, a lot of times it means that if it closed up here. This is the breakout. It captured all of this data from here to here, and put it in the open, high, low, and close of that candle. But look how we can get so much more information out of this data in here. Where's the volume trading? How much? Is it a stop run? What makes up this structure of this candle? Now, the candle is telling us that you look for a sell signal when you get sellers below the swing here on the candle, right? Now you don't, the candle is just really kind of like a blunt guide to order flow. Bookmap is like, really precise, giving you the understanding of what exactly happened up here. It's a stop run because we have the MBO data. We have high liquidity in here. We went a bit higher here, and then we just didn't get any more buyers. Okay, but we accepted above here, and that much we know so far. Now we can see we came up here and we didn't get enough buyers here. Here, look at the exhaustion right there. Look at the lack of buyers there, followed by sellers here. Okay, this is not a bad signal or understanding of context in here, because here, if we get enough sellers, we're looking for at least bottom of the range. Okay, to retest where these buyers came in previously, and we broke it. Okay, is this clear? You understand, like even like with this candlestick pattern in here, you can look for and trade back down to this candlestick or the swing, or where these buyers came in Bookmap here. Okay, so you see how this is giving you so much more clarity to your candlesticks, Edmund. Okay, so now let's zoom in again. Now we're looking for, again, more sellers down here to break it. And then we're looking for maybe where would it go? Well, we can look for maybe down to here, right? And here we go. Now, I stayed away from it. And why did I stay away from it? Any ideas, Edmund? Why would I not sell that in here? And anyone over on Discord, so you guys get a better feel of the context in here. Okay, we kind of covered it earlier. Well, first off, the answer is there's high liquidity here. Okay, so we're looking for, in here, we're looking for those sellers, just like in here as well. Like we're looking for those sellers to trade down to liquidity, okay, or some of the swings, etc. Well, we did, okay, and then we trade into this high liquidity. We just slightly broke the swings here, and we see buyers come back in. Now, in this whole move, in this context in here, our criteria is that we broke out. We're accepting higher still, but it's being tested. Okay, so we're not necessarily, I mean, if we didn't see high liquidity here, and we saw it lower, and we saw maybe a wall of liquidity on the offer up here, and we saw these sellers come in, we're looking for these sellers to take it down and break it, and then we would look for a potential sell position. Okay, but not here, not with this kind of back and forth and this high liquidity in here, right? So this is why. Now we're getting a bit more insight, more sellers again. So there's selling pressure in here. Okay, so it's now sellers. Let's see if they can trade it back down to this liquidity here at 735. Right. So yeah, we'll take a one lot here. Let's look for. Well, let's look at the criteria in here. So far, like I don't see a whole lot of sellers in here. Okay, there's actually more buyers in this move, in this range right now. in here. Okay, sellers are here, buyers are here. Okay, so again, we're going to look for more sellers back down in here to maybe then break the range into 36 and 35 liquidity here. Yeah, and not convinced by this in here, so I'm just going to hold off. Right, this will keep you away. I mean, look at the sellers here. There's a little bit of selling in here, but it's just down here. I just didn't see that appetite for being able to trade it back down to the bottom of the range or into this liquidity here. So good. Note what happened here. Note the trap. Note the high liquidity on the bid here. Note the reaction. Now we're looking for a short squeeze in here, and we're starting to find our buyers now. So buyers should be able to take it back up to 50 or maybe above the swing here at 53.5. Okay. Now I don't know about you, Edmund, but like I really like actually the candles to be honest, but understanding really what's behind them, you know, what they're hiding in here is so much more insightful. It gives the meaning to the candle, and this is like we started the webinar. This is always the case. This is just how it is. It really looks like a spoof in here. And let's see, sellers, take it down, bottom of the range here. Yeah, just not convinced, you know, still. You know, it's pretty dark in here. There's a lot of slop. Buyers and sellers can bang around in this range in here. And we're looking for the you know, the hand to tip to give us this insight. Okay, Edmund, you find them valuable? Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever, you know, floats your boat, basically. You know, I feel that yeah, understanding, like if you're looking at like a candlestick pattern, just like any other thing, like if you're looking at fib levels, you know, if you're looking at a volume profile levels, if you're looking at floor trader pivot levels, understanding the volume and liquidity behind some of that is where you're going to get the deeper insight. What are the different stops and iceberg algos in the add-ons? Please explain. Yeah, so here I have CVD, but we'll turn on icebergs. So iceberg orders are hidden orders used by larger players, and they only show a specific portion of the iceberg that transacts, and then the next portion is sent to the market to transact. Okay, we don't know the full size of the iceberg or you know, yeah, how much is behind it, but we start to understand when they transact, and then we know where they are. We can see them in the live market. We can see the whole evolution of that iceberg. Did they move it? Did they cancel it? Or did it fully execute? Okay, that we know. Same with stops, the red line in here. This is amazing transparency to be able to see this with market by order data. Okay, so understanding the stops, where these are transacted. We don't know where they are, but we know when they're transacting. Okay, so we can see these, some of these big spikes in here. These are clearly stop runs. You know, look, you guys have seen me a lot of times. I love to have the market momentum carry me into the trade. Therefore, I can miss anything like trying to, trying to capture like a move. Let's suppose I was looking for a sell down here, or yeah, a buy here. And I would look for a buy around this area in here. I would love to see a lot more liquidity here, but I don't know if sellers are going to have more supply and all of a sudden just drop it down below. So but I am looking for buyers to come back up above it, this area in here, and then I look for the that buying pressure to kind of carry me into the trade. Now that said, here we can see the stop runs, which are like up here. This is a stop run. Okay, so they are triggered, and it's a cascading stop run in here. Okay, 4 ticks. Okay, 5 ticks actually. Yeah, we can take a look at gold. Let's see what's going on there. Boy, guys, really not seeing much here. Anyway, let's do this. Like I said, we'll dive deeper into this Bookmap Academy, guys. I know a lot of you guys are in here, so we're going to go through more and more in here. Here we go. Here's some selling coming in. We missed it. It's a little too quick in NASDAQ. But looking still for 36 here. Yeah, I'm really glad to, looking for maybe a low volume pullback in here after that move. It is a stop run though. Okay, so we want to be careful again with some of these stop runs. On these kinds of days, we get these swings below or moves below the swing in here, and then it rejects and comes back up into the range. Right, and we're going to avoid some of that activity. We know it's a technical day. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's moving up, but as you guys can see, there's a lot of selling in here, a lot. Hey, look at this exhaustion up here. Oh my God. And there's a move back up above it here. All right, so actually I'm kind of curious in here. Maybe take a position in this one. Let's see now. Now things are clearing out here. Maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback here. And let's see if we can grab it. I don't like getting in at the bottom of these ranges in here. Okay, here's our pullback. All right, so let's see if we can just grab that. Okay, and we're just looking for these sellers. A lot of selling in here. So when we zoomed out in here, this is just a little bit of buying back up above it here. Okay, so again, I'm looking for sellers to try to take it back down here, because I'm looking for kind of more range bound trade here, back to, well, the first swing would be here, or maybe down to this liquidity here at 31.40. Again, guys, not a trade recommendation. This is not a trading room, but we're going to manage it now. I got involved without bracketed orders. I want to show you a trick here. Click on OCO, and then in Bookmap, in this area in here, we can place our, we're going to left click above, but hold down the shift key, and then we're going to left click below, and then this is where our limit buy is and our limit stop is. Okay. So now we're protected. If one of these is hit, the other is canceled, and our position would be flat. Now let's see if we got a reject here. If we don't see the rejection here, we might just get out. I don't want to see buying back up above that range, which we're getting. All right, this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for sellers, or we're looking for a rejection here and then a lot of selling right now to come back down here, and a lot more selling down here to break it and continue on lower. And instead, we're getting buyers up here. All right, so that's our trade management criteria. That's what we're looking for. In fact, I'm going to move my stop down to here, and we're just going to get stopped out at the top of the range here, just above the top of the range. Okay, we have our reasons. It doesn't work out, doesn't work out. And look at that, right to it, and then nothing transacted. All right, let's see those sellers swing in now, and should be able to move it here. Yeah, that's lucky, that's for sure. Best offer went up there. But now it's a nice trap, and in fact, maybe we can even add in on this one. Oops. One more hit back up here. All right, let's see if we exhaust out on that buy side. No, we're not. So buyers are still fighting it in here. There we go. Okay, so we're stopped out. All right, but that was the trade idea, and I think it's still good. We're just we saw it in here, not expecting those buyers to come back in like this. They did, but we can even look for a move back down below these buyers in here, and yeah, this is where we can put a well, there I just got filled, a sell stop. Okay. Right, now this is do or die here. This is where we have to have sellers come in and move this. We had the move to the upside. Now we need to see the sellers come in and commit. Okay, if they don't, we're just going to take the a small loss here. Beautiful exhaustion. All right, come on, sellers. This is it. Right here. You need to see that right where this big sell dot is here. Okay, a transaction. We're looking for more, a little bit lower, back down into this area, and then sellers should be able to swing it back lower. And we're just not getting them. We're just getting more and more buyers here, taking it higher, grinding it higher here. All right. So yeah, we should have put our stop in for this. That's unfortunate. And let's see if we can just get maybe a move back down here to 35 and 36, I should say. All right. Well, just going to flatten it on this one. Okay, poor decision making on that one. No protective stop. No, I don't really trade gold too much, but I know you get these swings like this, and it's yeah, not surprised we haven't had any sort of like deep pullback yet. I just keep buying it. Yeah, route. All right, so not the greatest there on gold, but let's jump over to I don't know what happened here. Oh, yeah. Let's jump over to the ES and see what's happening in NQ. Guys, I'm sorry, I forgot here. I have a meeting I've got to go to, important meeting. We're going to have to cut this one short, but still kind of looking for those sellers to come in here. Range bound day, and let's look at our higher time frame. Yeah, this looks good. Look at our higher time frame. This move up to these wicks, looking for some profit taking. Looking for some sellers to come back in, and looking for kind of a move back into the middle of this range in here. I'll have to leave it at that, guys. Thanks for coming, and we will catch up with you. I'm off on Friday, so I'll have to miss you, but we'll catch up with you then next week. All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll see you later.